My name is Varun Goyal. I head equity for Nippon India Alternate Assets. Today we are going to have a discussion on the emergent scenario because of the COVID 2019 situation and its impact on Indian equity markets as well as the broader economy. As you know, Indian equity markets bottomed out on 23rd of March when Nifty went to a level of 7,500, which was almost a 39-40% decline from the peak that we saw in January 2020. Incidentally, the lockdown in India started from 24th of March, which means even before the lockdown and the disruption to economy had started in India, the equity markets had actually reacted in advance to the pressure that the economy will have to go through, as a result of which you saw bulk of the correction had already played out even before India had less than 100 COVID patients, even before India entered into a lockdown, which goes on to prove that equity markets are forward-looking in nature and they react to the events much sooner and much quicker than the actual happening of the events on the ground. What we have seen since then, of course, India has been under lockdown for more than a month. It looks like various states of the country, depending on how the situation is, the economic disruption might continue for another 2 to 4 weeks. We will, of course, wait for the actual announcement from the government, but it looks like it will be the end of May before India emerges out of it. The good thing, of course, is that a lot of businesses have begun to reopen as we speak. FMCG, pharma, specialty chemicals, telecom, digital industries are all almost fully functional. A lot of shops have begun to get open post the notification from the Home Ministry on 24th of April. We believe that a large part of the economy across different states might become operational by the end of May. Of course, there are some hotspots in some big cities of India which might continue to remain under lockdown, but we expect that by 30th of June, almost 70% or 80% of the economy should be back to work, and then post the end of quarter 2, which is 30th September, we believe 90 to 100% of the economy should start resuming the work. So we believe that while this quarter GDP decline would be very sharp, we are looking at around 10% decline in GDP growth in quarter 1 of this fiscal, post which in quarter 2 we believe that GDP growth could be flattish, or let's say around 0% growth, and then thereafter in quarter 3 and quarter 4 we are looking at 4 to 5% kind of economic growth, and therefore for the year as a whole India might end at around 0 to 1% economic growth for the full year. So this is the broader economic forecast that we have at this point of time. This of course assumes that the coronavirus situation begins to stabilize and we see some kind of control over it by the end of June. As far as stock markets are concerned, as we were speaking earlier, of course markets react in advance to these kind of developments. If you look at how the markets have responded every time there is a very big and brutal correction, be it 2001 to 2003, be it 2008 to 2009, and be it 2016 to 2017, we have seen markets recover very, very quickly, and they have come back to very strong positions in a span of 12 to 24 months. This time too, we believe as the economy returns to normalcy, we will see bounce back both in the actual economic scenario as well as stock markets. I think 3 to 5 years down the line, we might look at 2020 as a year where there was an opportunity to put some real equity money to work, and we believe our investment which is spread out and which is done over the next 6 to 9 months could lead to significant return generation over the next 3 to 5 year perspective. As far as what are the themes and sectors that one should be investing in, what are the stories which look compelling. So as you know, in this correction, there are 2 or 3 very big major beneficiaries. So one of course is the whole digital space or the e-commerce space. As all of us get used to ordering products and services online, as all of us get used to working from home, we will see more and more people going online to order food, more and more people going online to transact in real estate, more and more people going online to buy insurance policies, stuff like that. So we believe those platforms which provide all these products should do well. Also, a lot more advertisement is going to move online, since bulk of the traffic of the consumer traffic is now coming online. So we believe digital advertisement as a space should also do well, and the companies geared towards this sector should continue to do very well. In the next 4 to 5 years, a very large percentage of Indian population will become online, will start procuring services and products online, and therefore we believe digital and e-commerce is the way to go. Second big sector, which is a big beneficiary, is telecom industry. As more and more people work online on various apps, we are consuming a lot more data. So telecom companies, any which ways, are coming out from a very prolonged consolidation period. We have seen one price hike happening in the last 6 months. In all probability, there should be one more price hike in the next 6 months, and therefore we see a significant improvement in profitability of telecom companies. So that is another sector that we believe should do well. Chemicals. India, as we speak, is a $35 billion industry in terms of chemicals. Various studies show that in the next 6 to 7 years, this can be $100 billion industry out of India. Why do I say that? Of course, there is a pushback towards the other big geography, which is China, and we are seeing more and more countries looking to outsource their chemical requirements to countries other than China. Of course, even before the coronavirus situation, we had the US-China trade war, because of which a lot of people were looking at alternate manufacturing locations. We've also seen countries in Europe and companies based out of there are very, very careful about environmental damage and adherence to environmental standards. In a lot of those parameters, Indian companies do very well, and we were seeing business coming to India in the last several years, and this trend will continue to strengthen. We already have 5-6 very credible names in India in this space, and I think this sector should continue to do very well going forward. Specialty chemicals go into pharma, in FMCG, in consumer durables, and therefore we see a fast increase in the applications of these products, which will be good for Indian companies. Overall, so while there are of course sectors like pharma and FMCG and food which will also do well, I think healthcare is another space which will see a lot of improvement. So be it hospital chains, I think people are looking at more organized sector coming up in terms of delivering of healthcare. So we have seen government announced a very ambitious plan in terms of Ayushman Bharat, by virtue of which more than 10 crore people have got health insurance. These people will be now availing healthcare services in various hospitals and organized sector outfits. So we believe hospital chains will become more and more dominant. Their profitability should increase as healthcare becomes accessible for a very large segment of population thanks to the insurance. Second is diagnostic labs. Of course, we have seen testing is very, very important for diagnosis of any illness, and we believe that more and more people should be availing diagnostic services. And third, is the health insurance or the general insurance industry. As people realize that the cost of healthcare is increasing, we see more and more people in buying healthcare. Second, people who already have health insurance would be looking at increasing the size of the health coverage that they have for themselves and their families. So overall, we believe that health as a space, which includes hospitals, diagnostics, which includes health insurance, and also includes, of course, the pharma companies. So together, these 4 sub buckets within the overall healthcare universe should continue to do well. And finally, I'd just like to talk about the overarching trend. If you see last 5 years, various reforms carried out by the government, be in terms of demonetization, be in terms of GST, be it the whole Aadhaar push, has been done with the aim of making this country more compliant to the tax system. We are seeing more and more the larger part of the economy becoming formal, right? So which means more and more companies starting to pay taxes, give pension and insurance benefits to their employees, coming in the mainstream of the economy, and this trend will continue to strengthen in the next 5 to 10 years. So whether it's paints, whether it's adhesives, whether it's financial services, whether it's pipes, whether it's jewelry, whether it's garments, today 30, 40, 50% of these companies are still in the unorganized sector. As this trend for digitization and formalization strengthens, we will see a lot more companies getting into the formal sector, and as a result of which the number 1, number 2, number 3 players in these sectors which are there already they will continue to gain market share from the unorganized sector. They will continue to improve their balance sheets. They will continue to see good growth, and therefore we believe the top 3-4 players in all these sectors where there's a very large unorganized population should also do very well in the next 3 to 5 years. So a portfolio which has a good mix of specialty chemicals, digital companies, pharma, healthcare, insurance, companies catering to shift from unorganized to organized should do very well in the next few years.